What's up? This is Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe, and on the phone line is a good friend of mine who is killing it, and that's not saying enough about how well he's doing in the comedy world. On the phone line is the one and only Chad Zumock. What's up, brah?
The one and only Ryan Hoppe. How are you?
I'm doing very good, man. Now, I don't want to go through the same narrative. I feel like when I talk about you and I interview you, I say the same thing about fighting adversity and overcoming things, but this might sound weird coming from a person that's 25 years old and you're old enough to be my dad, but I'm very proud of you, Chad. I'm so proud of you, man. 4 years ago, we were hanging out at a bar in Cleveland, and you were doing open mic nights, and you were doing well in comedy, but you were dealing with the douchebaggery that comes from that cloudy city. Now look at you. You were the co-host of Nikki Glazer's morning show on Sirius Radio, and you have a new comedy CD coming out, man. You really inspire me, Chad. I'm so happy for you.
Oh, it's very nice of you, Ryan. You know, life's ups and downs. You got struggles. It's never perfect, but just keep fighting, keep getting back up. I'm a comic first, man, and I've never claimed to be a perfect person. So I just try to do my best. You know, I sometimes I got to get redirected. Sometimes I go off a little bit, and then I got some good friends around me, a good support group that will reel me back in or put me back on path. So I'm actually very grateful to have those people in my life.
So they say you are the 5 people you hang out with. So in Cleveland, we all know who you had to work with, and that was unfortunate. Now in 2018, going on 2019, who are some of the people that have helped change you as a comedian and as a person?
I mean, first and foremost, I've always said Jim Florentine has been my big brother. The guy's gone out of his way countless times. Just never judges. Just, we have a real cool bond. Like, he just gets me, likes me. And Jim's always a good guy that puts me in the right. He gives me advice. He helped me out with, he's given me so much advice. Godfrey's a good friend of mine. He's one of the best comedians in the world. Godfrey is phenomenal. And he's another guy I connect with. Eddie Iff's a good comic friend of mine. Sam Tripoli's one of my best friends. So and they're all killers, by the way, on stage. They're murderers. They kill. They're some of the best comedians you will ever see. So those guys come to mind, like, right out of the gate. And I'm very fortunate and very grateful to have them in my corner no matter what.
Do you ever get overwhelmed looking at the greatness of Godfrey or Florentine? Like, for me in radio, when I'm around Kelton and them, I sort of admire how great they are at their craft, and I aspire to be like them. Not like their show, but to have the talent that they have. For you, does being around the great comedians sort of motivate you?
By the way, last time I was on Calta's show, I saw how good Calta was. It's hard to explain, but he spun something and turned he turned something in a bit just like that. I didn't even see it coming. And I go, oh, this guy's fucking good. He's really good on the air. So no, Cal, I get what you're saying. No, I get inspired a lot. Godfrey, I just opened for him at the Comedy Cellar Village yesterday, which I was, the Comedy Cellar is next to the Comedy Store is one of the greatest comedy clubs in the country. So opening for him there and watching him do a brand new hour that I've never seen, and I travel with this guy quite a bit, and how prolific he is and how sharp he is on stage, and he gets standing ovations. You're like, man, I got to raise my game more. So I'm just like you. I'm a fan. I'm always a fan first, and then, I also want to get better myself because much like you, people like me. So you just keep fighting.
Now, I don't want to be dark or annoying, but I'm very nervous about the future of comedy because I find myself relating more to the Gen X or baby boomer comedians and less to the ones my age. There's something to be said about where comedy is going. Maybe I'm being way too negative, but it's just how I feel.
It's a weird culture that we live in right now. You see a shift But I do the road a lot. I've been doing it hardcore for 3 years. I love it. I hate it. And but at the same time, the people are. It's not as blown out of proportion as people are making it. It's kind of more or less. It's still a place where you can do your thing. This LA is kind of a weird bubble, but I think there needs to be pushback. There's always going to be pushback. Sorry, okay, sorry, Hoppy. I'm in Philly right now, and I'm parking. So my apologies for the broadcast being choppy like it is.
It's all good, bro. So what I was asking you is, what do you think about where comedy is at?
It's a weird time. I think social media is blowing everything out of proportion, because when you do the clubs and stuff, it's not bad. There's certain rooms you go to, like some hipster rooms and some like stuff like that they're a little overly sensitive. But I do a lot of Midwest clubs, the Funny Bones, the Improvs, and even yesterday at the Village, I do some edgy stuff. I'm not filthy, but I still do edgy things, and there really hasn't been that much of a pushback.
So I don't want to give away too much of your material so people can buy A White Guy Named Chad on iTunes, which is currently ranked number 5. Good job. But what are some of the things and topics that you talk about on A White Guy Named Chad on iTunes?
I'm okay. Sorry, I'm on the phone. I apologize. Sorry, Hoppy. I'm parking. I'm at the Helium Club. For all your listeners, if you want to come to Philly. So no, I basically, I just kind of, I actually recorded, there's going to be 2 albums. I'm going to release one next year, but I recorded it all, and I chopped it in half because I wanted to be able to release something every year just to make my content out there. But it's just me talking about my life, being a screw-up, doing dumb things, observational, silly. I'm silly. I like to just be goofy, and it's funny. It's a good album, and I recorded it at Comedy on State in Madison, Wisconsin, which is one of the best comedy clubs also in the country. So that was a lot of fun going there. But it's the cool thing. It's $7.99. It's I love comedy albums. I know everybody wants a Netflix special or release a special, but one of my favorite comedy albums of all time is Dave Attell's Skanks for the Memories, which is the 15th anniversary of Dave Attell's Skanks for the Memories. One of the best comedy albums in the. So I wanted to release my album on the anniversary of Skanks for the Memories.
What is so great about Dave Attell? I know the answer because I'm semi into comedy. Like, I'm not a comedy pro, but I know my comedy. For people that don't know comedy, what is so great about Dave Attell?
He's prolific. He's a genius, and I don't know if the younger comics give him the props he deserves. When you talk about the greatest comics of all time, Pryor, Carlin, but Dave Attell is a joke writing machine. He is. I love writing jokes, like just jokes. And the guy is so prolific, and any given evening, he's trying something new. He's pushing boundaries. He's coming up with premises no one's talking about. And the fact that Dave Attell knows who I am is, like, to me, I felt like I made it. It wasn't like getting this album to number 5 on iTunes, which, by the way, there's a trick a lot of artists do on iTunes. They basically, they do a pre-sale. And say 26 people buy the album or for pre-sale. When they release it, it's in the top 10. So like everyone's like, oh, I got a top 10 album. Look at this. I'm in the top 10. Do you need my keys? Okay. And I didn't have a pre-sale. I have a new manager, and he doesn't know what he's doing. So I was like, I'm probably not going to get in the top 10. And then within 24 hours, I was in the top 10. So that was just going on people's shows, going on podcasts, friends tweeting it, me putting it on social media. So it's pretty impressive. It just kind of went from nothing to there within 24 hours. And my first album, Adventures in Argyle, I was still on the radio on WMMS, and I sold a shitload because I was constantly plugging on the radio. So this was pretty cool because I don't really have that one vehicle. I just have many little boats out there that are helping me. Todd and Tyler in Omaha, Anthony Cumia, Ron Bennington, Nikki Glazer, Kevin Brennan, and Ryan Hoppe.
Dude, that was an honor to be in the name of all those great acts. What I want to ask you, though, moving on, how do you find the right manager? because a lot of people would see your talent and maybe, I'm not saying would want to use you, but would see the chance to make a lot of money and wouldn't want to share it. So how do you make sure that you're picking a manager that wants to help you out for who you are?
Well, obviously my friend Godfrey kind of connected us, and I think 2 months ago, no, was it last month? I went up to LA because I have a project that I can't announce yet. I'm writing on it, so I'm moving out to LA in January. And I had a meeting with the guy, and he's a guy who has his shit together. He has a younger roster. He's hungry, and he saw some of my stuff. I had to put together a writing packet, which I've never done before. And he goes, "We could do something together." And he more or less hired me right on the spot, like you're my guy. And he's opened up. He's given me some cool career opportunities. I've only been with him for about a month.
Now, what is the key when you have a new manager? Do you go out for drinks? Do you have them over at your house? Do you feel like you need to bond, or is it just business?
Well, I went out to Los Angeles to visit him. Right now, I'm in Cleveland. That's where I'm stationed. That's where, as of right now, I'm at. Because a year ago, my mom passed away, and it was just, I was living in New York. I had a sublet in New York, and there was a will, and it got really crazy with the family, my stepfather, and it became a huge mess. And we were selling the house, and my aunt and I had to come back just to kind of fix all that, help put that together when I wasn't working the road. But now that's all kind of straightened out with the will and the house, and I'm able to go out west and keep doing what I'm doing. I don't know if that answered your question. I'm just running my mouth.
But what was it like when you had to live in a small place in New York City? Did you feel like you were kind of living the dream because everybody kind of wants to be in that situation, or did you miss Cleveland?
There was a comedian named Gino Bisconte. There were 3 comics living in this place, and I got to be honest with you, I was barely there. I would, when I was in town, I'd go do spots. I'd come back late at night. I'd wake up. Because New York, there's so much energy, man. There's so much going on. I'd go over to Sirius XM, do shows. I'd go do a podcast, grab lunch, head on downtown, head to the cellar, head to the stand. So I was constantly bouncing around. But it's so exciting. It's just so much energy, and you got the best of the best. Like yesterday, I opened for Godfrey at the Village. And these are tourists from around the country, from around the world. People from different countries are coming to the legendary Comedy Cellar. And after the show, they're coming up, they're taking photos because they think everyone at the Comedy Cellar is like this, huge act. Like Louis C.K. goes there, and Artie Lang, you name the names, Amy Schumer, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle. So the energy of New York, nothing can match it in any city. And I love all the cities I perform in, but New York is a different animal.
Do you feel like when you're in New York City, it's almost like you're better at comedy because you're so focused that you want to give it your all?
Yeah, man, because everyone's a killer. Every comic in New York, they're hungry. They want to destroy. It's the competition level. Everyone's neck and neck. There's so many people. It makes you want to raise your game. That's what I like about it. I'm more in the zone when I'm in New York. I'm more focused. Because I have that idle mind, and I said that old saying, the idle mind's the devil's playground. If you give me some opportunity of free time, I just wander off. But when I'm in the zone, when I'm focused, laser sharp, that's when I'm at my best, and that's why I like New York. LA is the same way.
So what's going on in the day in the life of Chad Zumock? You dating, you working out, you getting into weed. What do you do when you're not doing comedy?
Where did you come up with those examples?
I don't know, the top of my head. I'm a weird guy.
I'm currently, within the past 2 months, I swear to God, 4 days in Chicago, 5 days in Denver, 4 days in Phoenix, a week and a half in L.A., back to Cleveland, a week in L.A., a day in Pittsburgh, 3 days in Washington, D.C., and I just spent 4 days in NYC, 1 day in Philly, and I'm back to Cleveland for the holidays and to pack up. So I don't really have much time to do anything. I have a girl that I see on and off again, and she's just as busy as me. And by the way, are you dating someone right now?
Kind of hanging out with one girl, but after almost getting married to a psychopath. I'm kind of just trying to find me, and I've lost 40 pounds, and my podcast is doing
good for you.
So I'm not bragging or saying what I've done. What I'm saying is, like, the old me would have asked this girl to be my girlfriend by now, but I'm just kind of keeping my options open. It's hard to explain. I'm going through a weird quarter life crisis, man. I know that sounds very cheesy, but I'm just trying to make it, man. I'm in a weird place.
Well, by the way, that 40 pounds you lost I think I gained it from the road. I just hired a trainer because I was like, I eat like shit on the road, and I can't get to the gym as much as I want. So I got a trainer who's kind of got me on a plan right now, and especially with the holidays. So I want to be a little proactive with the holidays coming up, especially in Cleveland of all places, where it's just cold, everyone's eating, and so my recommendation to you, what works for me: find a girl who's busy, who has things going on. A busy girl is the best thing you could ever have.
Here's the thing, though, man, and this is going to sound so negative, and it's going to give off bad vibes, but I'm just nervous to pick a girl as a girlfriend because I'm just nervous, like, what if I find somebody else? And I know there's a chance that the girl I'm seeing and hanging out with right now hears this, but it's just, I don't know what I want, man. I'm just, like, in a weird place. Like, my life is great, but I'm just, like, I'm not using dating apps as much, man. I'm just kind of really focused on radio. I just don't know. I feel like my breakup ruined my chance to share emotions with women. And I know that sounds like I'm obsessed with my ex, but it's more like I'm very cautious about getting feelings. And I know I need to work on that.
No, that's fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. There's girls that break your heart, man. I mean, I've had girls in my life that I've loved dearly, and it just didn't work out for whatever reason. Over time, you kind of move on, and, you just kind of want to do your own thing. Like, I'm in a position right now where I love freedom. I love being able to do whatever I want, whenever I want. I don't have no one to answer to. I can, like, if somebody called today, since I don't have anything tomorrow, like, do you want to come to Chicago and hang? I'm like, yeah, let's go. That is the greatest feeling in the world, is that freedom to do whatever you want. I don't have a boss. I don't have someone telling me what I should do, what I shouldn't say. I don't have to fucking kiss someone's ass that I work with. I just do what I want. Luckily I found a girl who thinks similar to me, and there's no pressure to, like, get married or get engaged. It's just when we're together, we enjoy each other's time, each other's company, and that's what you got to do, is somebody that compliments you and something you don't overthink.
Okay. Let's not talk about WMMS or Cleveland radio, because it's not the best example of radio. It's average radio, but what I want to ask you is there any part of you that misses doing radio? Because I know in the past when I've said this, you've answered with, well, it prevents me from being able to tour. So are you happy with touring, or is there a part of you that misses kind of being the Artie Lang of a show?
I mean, it's as things, I go further and further away from that scenario and that situation. I don't have a lot of fun. I have fond memories, but if I had to do it all over again, I would have never put myself in that position, including all the way up to the end. I would have put myself in that position. So I just like what I'm doing now. I enjoy, don't get me wrong, there were some great times when I was on the radio, some fun times, but it's in the past, and I'm having fun times now. I mean, I'm having, like, I got to go to Dave Chappelle's house with Godfrey in Dayton, Ohio, and sit in Dave Chappelle's bar. It was just me, Dave Chappelle, Godfrey, talking, and I'm sitting there listening to Godfrey and Dave Chappelle go back and forth, and I'm like, I'm listening to the greatest podcast in the world. I was like, and this was a Monday night. We stayed over. If I was on the radio, I couldn't do that. So I have some really cool stories and cool situations that happened to me outside the radio, but, it is what it is. I'm learning the past is the past. I recently just had a friend pull me aside because there was a situation, and, it goes unsaid. Like, if you know who I am, like, my situation with the MMS situation, and he just told me, like, what are you doing? Just let it go. It doesn't matter. And it's right. It doesn't matter. So I'm just happy with what's going on right now, and I'm excited for the future.
What are your plans for 2019?
Well, I mean, I'm driving across country to L.A., living in Los Feliz, working on this project. I want to cut back on the touring and doing the gigs. Like, I've been to every city so far, and it's fun. I love going to a new city, a new club. It's always exciting, but, you know, being in the airports, being in the cars, the travel just takes a toll on you, man. So I want to cut back on the travel a little bit. I want to work on this project that I'm working on. There's also a lot of individual things that I want to deal with, and just kind of enjoy it more. I want to enjoy this process. The process is the best part. Even with your show, that process should be fun. And at times I think I took it for advantage of it. I took it for granted. I took it for granted that the process is the fun part.
Now,
I don't know if I'm answering any of your questions, by the way. I'm just rambling.
You're being yourself. That's all that matters, Chad Zumock. Now, for people that are listening to this and are saying to themselves, I want to check out his new CD, his new project on iTunes, why should they check it out?
Well, you know, it sounds good. It's funny, and it's only $7.99. I think you'll enjoy it. It's up there. It's getting a good response. I got like cool comics that I've known for a while that really dig it, and $7.99 is nothing. It's that is a full price beer after happy hour.
Well, dude, I'm glad you were able to figure out that your new comedy CD is like drinking a beer, because those are two things I appreciate in life, and I also appreciate. I don't even know what that meant.
No, I totally like just stopped drinking again because I'm trying to get back into shape, and I was a little depressed there, so I'm just like so focused to get back into shape, man.
Chad, you can do whatever you want in life. You're ranked number 5 on iTunes, so that is living proof that Chad Zumock, the Z-Man, can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants.
Damn Jim Gaffigan won't leave the number 1 spot. I don't know what's going on. Gaffigan follows me on Twitter, too. I sent him a DM. I go, hey, could you buy my album? And he just wrote back, LOL.
Dude, he got back to you. Look at you. You're growing by the minute, Chad.
Well, thanks. You've always been very nice to me, Ryan, and I always appreciated your hustle and your hard work. You know, I see you go through some tough times here and there, and I was just talking to E-Rock about you because I was out in Kumia.
Yeah.
And E-Rock's such a fan of yours. He really really likes you, and he's always wishing you the best, and he hopes something big happens for you. And we both agree that you're a loyal dude, that you have your heart in the right place, and I do. I hope everything works out. And it sounds like you're doing your thing. You're consistent, and you put a lot of energy into that and continue to fight the fight.
Dude, I hope the best for Eric Nagel. He's one of the most genuine, kind-hearted dudes in radio. In a business full of scumbags and sociopaths, E-Rock is awesome.
Dude, without a doubt, man. That guy's solid. He's a good friend. Like, we'll talk on the phone, we'll catch up and stuff, and he generally cares. Like, he will ask questions like, are you okay, dude? You all right? Because I got in a fight with you remember Dr. Steve from the O&A show?
Yeah.
So I don't even know Dr. Steve, and I go on Twitter sometimes, and I just fuck around, I troll, and I just fuck with people. And I started fucking with Dr. Steve, then all the O&A fans came after me. And then, you know, Kumia told me, he's like, dude, he goes, just say it was a joke, they'll go away, and because it was a joke. And then E-Rock, he calls me, he goes, you okay? Why you fight with Dr. Steve? And I go, it was a joke. Like, he got blown out of proportion.
Dude, was that why Reddit was going after you? Because I love Opie and Anthony. I love their show. I hate their Reddit page. It is the worst Reddit page of all time.
It is the place of evil. It's the nastiest losers of all time. I was talking to Comey about this. They're just losers. So if you don't know the Opie and Anthony show, they created they were called the Pest, right? The Pest they would sick the pest on all these, you know, morning DJs, these hacky shows, and these pests would destroy their Facebook pages, and they would do all this. You know, they were the worst of the worst. So when Opie and Anthony broke up, these pests didn't know where to put their anger. So now they start going after Jim Norton. They start going after Anthony, Opie. They're going after everyone because they don't know what to do now. But, yeah, that Reddit page on O&A is garbage. It is the worst. But I get a kick out of it, when it's funny that people put so much time and energy to just trash you. It's just...
It's a little too nauseating. Howard's Reddit page is a little more normal because the fans seem not as angry. But Opie and Anthony's page, I check out. It just gets too nauseating.
Well, O&A, or Howard's changed his whole show. It's not the same show as it used to be. Personally, I don't think it's as good as it used to be, but
it doesn't
he's
matter.
Getting older.
Dude, Howard may not be the same as he was 10 years ago, but I listen whenever he's live, man. It's like the David Letterman effect. Like, he's not going to be there forever, and you just appreciate it.
Right. No, dude, Howard Stern's one of the reasons why I wanted to get into radio and comedy, and he was the best of the best. And the first year he went over to Sirius, those 4 years with Artie, that was some of the best radio you will ever hear. It was amazing. And there's been so many imitators and so many people that hacked Howard throughout the years. I'll always be grateful for the entertainment, the years of entertainment that he's given. I'm just not a big fan of the show now, because I don't care about long interviews with Miley Cyrus or, I like the years of Artie and all that. But I was just that serious, and I'm friends with a lot of those guys on the show. I'm friends with Gary now, Gary Delabonte. So I see those guys, and they're great dudes. So I got nothing but love for them. Howard's, he's an icon.
Well, dude, sooner than later, you're going to be an icon, Chad. Keep up the good work, brah.
Look at you tying the interview in a bow. You knew how to transition. You know how to close it out. You knew the exact wording. You heard icon, and you're like, you know what, Chad? You're going to be an icon. And that's it for Happy Hour. Please check out Chad's new CD, A White Guy Named Chad, anywhere you get music, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play. And if you like Happy Hour, leave 5 stars, leave a review, share it with one friend. How's that for a close?
Dude, look at you.
Yeah. I'm Ryan Hoppe. Thank you for listening to Happy Hour. We'll be back next week with, I don't know, Mike Gelson.
You like that clapping sound effect?
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
It sounds like static on this end.
Dude, when I end the show, do you have time to talk on the line? I miss you, homie.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's rush this then. This has been Happy Hour. Bye.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.